Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M4 Sherman, the American Tier 5 medium tank, and it's located on the southwest spawn of Westfields, and it's under the command of BetimAbazi. Now, he's carrying the 105mm dirt gun, which is my favourite gun for this tank. It's got the ability to do amazing damage to the enemy, although it doesn't tend to penetrate them very well. But those it does penetrate, it can one-shot. Okay, game started, and he's off, he's moving. Now, the M4 Sherman isn't very fast, I'm afraid. It's got a top speed of 48 kilometers an hour and 18 in reverse. So he's not going to go up with the mediums, who are heading up to the east side of the map. In fact, he's going to climb the hill. Oh, and unfortunately that Stug didn't get the message, and he's rammed him in the side. Anyway, he's climbing up the hill because he's going to take part in the battle with the heavies. And we can see that one heavy's gone up to meet the others, the Type 95, whilst another Type 95's gone to the village. And I think Betim's actually going to try and fight any of the enemies that are in the village. My preference in the M4 is actually to stay on that ridge line and shoot at any heavy that comes down. And I think that's what Betim might be doing as well. He stopped just for a second to check, could he get a shot into that Sav M43? And he can't because he's over the ridge line at the moment. But the Type 95 has got very low armour, so if he gets close to those tanks, he can really badly damage them. And there's a Panzer T25. Now, if he can get a shot on target, he does! 100 hit points. Lightly armoured, you see, so he can do a lot of damage. And he's taken auto-aim off because the centre of the vehicle was actually below the ridge line. And so if he'd shot on auto-aim, he would have hit the ground. And that auto-aim worked, because of course all of the vehicles above the ridge line, but he's going to take off auto-aim and try and shoot the rear, and he does. Another lovely hit there for 123. Can he get a third round in? Fourth round in? Yes! But it's not enough to kill him. He's down on 5 hit points. So he's going to have to fire a last shot in, and... oh, well, he did get another round in, but he only got 3 hit points. But he'd been hit by a Sturmpanzer with Splash. And that time he got him. Only 2 hit points left, but it was enough. And you can see the Type 95 is having difficulty because he's down to just 14 hit points as well. But BetimAbazi's still got most of his hit points. He's only missing 20. And of course now he's stalking that Sav M43. Got the top of him. Yep, took him out. Lightly armoured tank destroyer. I say lightly armoured, but it's got good frontal armour, the Sav, and he must have hit a weak point. Going for the other Type 95, and he misses. He hits the ground. I think it was because he auto-aimed. He needs to take it off auto-aim. And that time it worked. 22 hit points. Now he's going to have to do this manually because he can't aim auto-aim because it would hit the ground, not the top of the vehicle, because we can only just see the turret. But there's a Stug, and it's a Stug 4, so he's going to have to pay attention to that because that's a dangerous tank destroyer. And he missed on the first shot. Pulls back below the ridgeline, but still gets hit. Comes up, and that time got him. 1-shot kill, lightly armoured, he's gone. Now that Type 95 keeps punching rounds in this direction, and they've missed so far. Well, a couple of them have hit target, and that round unfortunately again auto-aim, so didn't work. He needs to get a good turret, a good shot aimed at that turret, but of course to do that you had to stay still, and that means he was vulnerable to the Sturmpanzer, who managed to get some more hit points off him. But the Type 95's actually been wiped out by our Sturmpanzer, who was paying attention. Now, I don't think there are any more heavies up this end. I think what there is this Hetzer, and I think there's a Type 25. He's auto-aimed at the Hetzer. I think he's going to try and come over the ridgeline and then shoot. No, he's switched to the 25 ton. He fires around it and gets him at range. And that with auto-aim. That was a very good shot. let it dial in, and it will go straight and true to the target. Okay, Hetzer, going to come around the corner and just derp him. Yes! Lovely! Now, there's a Lux down in the valley. In fact, that Lux and a 14 TP are the only two light tanks left on the enemy team. He's got a Sturmpanzer. He's already got a Top Gun from this already. There's the 14 TP. Trying to auto-aim, to manually aim rather, but unfortunately didn't get enough lead there, and it went high. He's also aiming now and fires in. He didn't get the kill. If he got the kill, that would have been the 7th kill. Going for the Lux, and oh no, auto-aim doesn't work. You need to aim ahead. And the Lux has gone down, so there's only one enemy remaining. No chance of him getting a Radleys now, but he can get the 7th kill if he can find the Sturmpanzer. And since the Sturmpanzer is a short-range Arty, he's probably going to be close to the hill. Yes, he is. There he is. And he's dead. 190 hit points. And that wins the battle. So let's have a look at the end of battle results, and it's an ace tanker for BetimAbazi in the M4 Sherman. He also picked up a Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemy vehicles, a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, he got 9, a Duelist for taking down 2 tanks that did damage to him during the battle, a Fighter effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a Shell Proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the battle, and a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. He got 7, just 1 short of getting that Radleys. If only the shots on the 14 TP or the Lux had not been auto-aimed, or rather the 14 TP did manually aim, but he just didn't give enough lead on it. But if those had gone home, he would be looking at a Radley Waters for sure. Now let's have a look at the team scores. Well, there you go. He managed to get highest damage, 1,404 hit points altogether. The highest score on his own team, other than him, was the T40 with 699. On the enemy team, the T95 that he was fighting against was 647. When it came to kills, obviously, he managed to monster the others again. 7 kills. The highest score on his own team was the Stug 3, who rammed him at the start of the battle. He managed to get 3 kills. The highest on the enemy team was the Type 95. He only managed 2 kills, but Betim managed to get 3 times, more than 3 times as many kills. When it came to base XP, 1,208, and again that was enough for an ace tanker. The next highest scorer was the 14 TP with 471, and then the T40 with 442. Highest on the enemy team was their Type 95 with 310. So let's have a look at detail report. Well, he fired 19 rounds during that battle. He got 12 direct hits, 12 penetration, and 1,404 hit points of damage, all at close range. He received 10 hits from the enemy. 3 of them were penetrations, 7 were non-penetrations, and 2 hits a result of splash damage from that Sturmpanzer, who was desperately trying to get him, but just kept missing him, so it was splash damage most of the time that he was getting. He blocked damage of 660 hit points. He spotted 2 enemy vehicles, that must include the Sturmpanzer 2 and somebody else, and then he damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 7 of the enemy, and did damage assistance of 595 hit points. On a standard account, he earned 22,516 credits, and after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he took away 14,311 credits. He didn't get charged anything for the damage against the Stug. He did lose some hit points in the process of that collision, but I suspect that they actually viewed that collision was the fault of both sides, and they just chose not to deduct anything for it. So both tanks would have actually lost hit points, and nobody was at fault. When it came to base XP, he managed to get 1,208. There was no multipliers, so that's all he took away. But it was a pretty good battle. Just 1 short of getting that Radleys again, because after all, he's just had another battle, which we've shown on video, where he did manage to get a Radleys on Himmelsdorf. But in this one, just 1 shy of getting the Radleys. But I mean, I think it was down to the fact that he chose to auto-aim at that Lux, and that was the mistake. If he'd actually led the Lux, he would have had a chance of 3 shots to get him before he was eventually taken out by the tank that killed him. So I think he would have had a chance to get it right. It's just that's the way it goes. When you're playing with a desert gun, you have to remember the shell is much slower, so you have to lead the target, and auto aim doesn't always work unless you're very, very close range. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.